asset, right? So one of the issues that we frequently see with companies is that, say, for example, the CTO, maybe the CEO, CFO will come to us and they'll say, we know we've got this really valuable data asset, but we don't know exactly what it's worth. And that precludes us from doing a return on investment calculation. Or the CTO will come to us and say, look, we've got this, I suspect we have valuable data. I've gone off to see, fill in the blank, systems integrator person, Curious, or whoever it is, and they've said it's going to cost me $5 million to sort my data out and put it into a format that I can utilize. And I went to the CFO, and the CFO has, not unfairly, asked, well, what are we going to make from it? What's it worth? And the problem is you only have one half of the return on investment equation. You only have the investment part. You don't have the return part. And nobody in their right mind would sign off on that unless you know the full implications. What are you actually going to make from this stuff, right? And so that's one of the reasons why you go through this process, is to actually understand what data do you have and what is the economic return from it, and that allows you to justify the investment required to build the end users of that data, and then evaluate that return versus the cost and versus the risk, because there are risks associated with data monetization as well. In other words, if I gave you a piece of land and I just said, hey, look, here's this piece of land, you would go through a process, a very well understood process of what are we going to do with the land? Are we going to build apartments on it? Are we going to build, industrial warehousing, commercial office space, whatever it is? You would go through a classic standard return on investment business case type analysis. Data is fundamentally no different. There are some different ways you value it. But fundamentally, at the end of the day, it is an asset that behaves according to the same sort of economic rules, and you need to understand its value prior to engaging on major monetization exercise. Otherwise, how have you got any idea about whether or not you're getting a return?